And there we go, guys. It's time for joinDOTA League Division 2. OsG Gaming meets the 4 friends and Curly, or not so many friends anymore. That always depends on the lobby chat and the mood of the day. Either way, I'm Heflatv myself, and coming with me is Mitu from far, far away from Taiwan, if I'm not mistaken. And if you guys wonder why we are on this channel, like today there are so many games that Heflatv 1 and 2, they're all pretty much sold out. So I had to actually go on my private stream here, which is not partnered with Twitch, so I hope it's not too much of a problem that you can't select the quality. I lowered a bit the bitrate, so everybody should be able, unless you really have a jungle internet, and then I'm really sorry for it. Either way, I will also get this channel partnered in the future, so we have a backup channel in case we have like 3 or more games at the same time. Either way, let's hop into the draft.
Yeah, so looking at the first bans, it's fairly standard. You never really want to give away Lycanthrope to the Die team because of just how easy it is to go to a Roche pit and score an early Roshan and gain some additional gold advantages as well as XP advantage and additional life for whoever picks up the Aegis. And OsG, it seems like they're just going with the trend ban so far, just getting rid of the Invoker. But they are taking somewhat longer to ban out the second hero. And here we go, it's going to be the Centaur. I mean, these are just extremely popular bans to begin the bans, I suppose.
Actually, it reminds me a bit of the 6.8 meta, because, I mean, right now, I mean, the distance between 6.81 and 6.8 is not too much. I mean, we look at, what, 2-3 weeks by now? Like, I forgot the time. I'm so busy all the time. I think it's about 3 weeks now. But either way, we saw a slight shift. Like, for example, Lycan here, first ban for 4FC. I don't know, it's... The last, I don't know, 20, 30 games I casted, they completely ignored Lycan. Like, completely ignored him. The same with AA. Like, so some of those 6.8 years, they shift into Nirvana. Sometimes get, I don't know, banned in the second ban rotation. But Invoker and the Centaur Warren, of course, still up to date, as well as the Battery are now coming out. It took quite some time to decide those, but yeah, we look at a really 6.8 normal draft, pretty much.
Hi, and speaking of Lycan, I don't know if you were just watching the game between MYM versus C9. MYM had a very good opening, but C9 with the Lycan plus Visage Familiars plus the Drow Ranger Aura, all 3 stacking together, it's just an insane amount of raw damage,
you're
physical
a fan of
output.
this as well? This is nuts. Yeah, like, to be honest, I've been advertising such a combination for a long time. In 6.8 we had actually once a game where they have been stacking this up, and I did the math. Like, those familiars, for example, then with Aghanim Scepter, so you have to calculate 3 times that much. They hit for 220 with the first hit, then they have their 10 stacks, or 12 stacks it was. It goes down, and even if they're depleted, their stacks, and usually then you see Visage, you know, just popping them on the crown and trying to reset it to get some more damage again. But even with that aura and everything, they were still hitting for 100. Like, it was 93 or 95 or something like that. It was just absolutely insane. And so far I haven't seen anyone picking up that combo again. The only, I don't know, popular combo was played by EG about a month ago with Tinker Visage combination, where the familiars were used as a TP platform for RTZ just to get around the map, which was crazy. But I really hate that Visage is, I don't know, going so in the background at the moment.
Well, personally, I love aura stacking combos. Just throwing a couple of the old school ones. Back then, Beastmaster, Vengeful Spirit, Lich, Drow Ranger. This was also an extremely popular combo back then. But the downside, the reason why it hasn't really worked out is most of these heroes, they're generally more towards single target. So you do need to find a crowd control somewhat. And in the previous game that MYM played against C9, the crowd controls the Tidehunter. And the second downside is, as soon as the hero dies, the aura disappears. Like, Vengeful Spirit, if he dies, the Vengeance aura is gone. But in this case, once Lycan uses the Howl, it's going to be there. And once Drow turns on the aura, it's going to be there, regardless if the hero dies or not. So, like you said, it's an amazing combination if we're allowed to see more of it. It's definitely a treat. The only one thing I can think of, though, that might be a little bit of a downside is, how do you lane all these heroes?
Yeah, that's the downside. If you stack them, then you're kind of depleting your options, what you lane them. It always ends up in, I don't know, like having to make some sort of compromise. But like, I think we should not get too focused on this now, because like, for some reason they're drafting fast now. Like, they decided to go for Ancient Apparition, which I always love because I still think Ice Blast, I mean, it's absolutely unchanged. It's something always horribly to go against. And on the other side, 4C, they decide to go for a Trained Protector and a Darkseer. To the Darkseer, I don't want to even say too much. It's an awesome offlaner, of course, and depending on how well he works with his Vacuum Wall and later in the fight, I always love it because he also scales nicely into late game because of the wall. The Trained Protector is always interesting here in my opinion, because so many teams pick him up at the moment if they go for a tower defense strategy pretty much. So all you have to do, you rotate into your towers, you stop the enemy team from pushing, and you heal your tower back up, and this translates into about 5 to 6k gold loss for the other team, because those tower would eventually go down either by slow siege or by direct attack, like when you rotate more and more heroes in there. But like with this strategy, like it's a lot of gold missing for the enemy there, and that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, Trian definitely keeps the towers going for much, much longer than they should. And some of the things that's been explored as of now in professional games is Trian, they like to max their Nature's Guys quite early on. And then once you have that Nature's Guys, you have so many invisible heroes all over the map. And it's hard to predict just about where the Trian is. And I feel like Darkseer plus Trian is another great combination. And Trian Bane, that's something that DD from last year, it's a staple. They go for it every single time, and it just goes to show how strong these heroes are, because Bane innately has an ulti that goes through BKB. It has a great form of, say, regeneration, because I mean the brain sap, that's instant 300 plus HP. So it looks like for FC they're going for a very team fight oriented lineup with good crowd control, whereas OsG, it feels like it's a more well-rounded lineup. They have the more skirmishes, and they have extremely high burst. The teamfight capabilities are great, and they can stack up for the gyrocopter.
Yeah, you have to look into the second ban rotation because it's already out, plus the picks, of course, following up that. Like, the Wisp actually came out, and I didn't see the Wisp actually coming because so far I wouldn't even know with what they would synergize that Wisp. Razor is just too slow because you have to relocate in, then instantly get your static link up. Doesn't really work. Having Nature's Prophet, generally always a good ban. Now the Titan the following, of course you don't want to have that big Ravage against you. On the other side, well, Shadow Demon, absolutely understand that. You never want to have that, plus they have to ban it because the Mirana is already on the pitch, which means the Disruption Arrow combination, that would be sick. SK Viper, okay, understandable. And now we have to look in the picks. You already mentioned the Bane, and on top of that, the Razor, the Earthshaker, Gyrocopter. Well, for OsG, I think they plan a bit later in the game, while 4FC, they want to have that game like fight intense pretty much early, because we see the Trained Protector, we're gonna see like Leech Seed, Harass on his lane, we have Bane with some nice combination, especially sick with Razor, because you Nightmare and Static Link a target, it does not interrupt the Nightmare, so you leech that target pretty much dry, has no damage whatsoever, and as soon as you get out of that Nightmare, you're gonna get really, really fat hits by that Razor, which is sick. And now for the mid, we have a Storm Spirit. Well, to be honest, there's not too much synergy, but like as a mid hero overall, it's pretty nice so far. What do you think is gonna be mid for OsG?
I'm thinking about a potential Puck. It seems to combo very nicely with the rest of the lineup. It can set up for the Ice Blast, and it's a little bit more control for the Storm, because if you look at the 4 heroes from OsG right now, Mirana, Ancient Apparition, Earthshaker, Gyrocopter, they're not heroes that can really deal with the Storm Spirit. But it feels like, yeah, it has to be the Puck, right. And indeed.
Nice call there. I guess it's a really nice one, because if Puck gets a nice initiation, Waning Rift on 2 or 3 targets, that would pretty much be doom for 4FC. Like, imagine Storm Spirit, Bane, and the Trained Protector getting a Waning Rift. That would mean no Overgrowth. Storm Spirit with a pretty low HP pool, he will get down before he comes out of the silence. And of course Bane for defensive or offensive Nightmares, Fiend Script, etc. is also missing. Plus, of course, Bane is gonna have a hard time, because you have Mirana, you have Ancient Apparition, you have Gyrocopter Rocket, you have the Earthshaker Fissure, and the Waning Rift, Dreamcoil by Puck. All 5 of those heroes have a potential of interrupting the Fiend Script channel. So this Bane I don't know. I don't think he's gonna be very happy in this game unless, of course, he's rushing or he's getting the opportunity to rush a BKB, and this should be pretty much second item for him because otherwise I just don't see him channeling Fiend Scrub for any longer than like 1 second.
Yep. Sorry about that. I got a little bit distracted right there. I was trying to figure out how 4FC wants to lane and whether or not they want to go for the aggressive trial lane. Um, and I was thinking because even if you have the Treant, the living armor is great, but up against the Rocket Barrage, it would just instantly get knocked out.
Yep.
Um,
Well, we're gonna figure
yeah.
out the laning anyway, but I want to take this opportunity pretty fast to introduce the team. Starting here by the Dire side, we have Puck. Judo is playing him like OsG. I actually had the honor already to cast those guys quite often here in JDL, in other leagues like I think D2RO, Starladder Pro Series, etc. So I know those guys quite now, but Judo, what are you doing? He's planning his ward there, but this was pretty much seen here by the 4FC Razor. The question is there a D-ward coming? And I just take those couple seconds. Hopefully I get the intro through. Komi is playing here with on the Mirana. Bignum is having the Earthshaker. Here at the moment in jungle is Obi-Wan Banan. I love his name and I say it every time again, and I will say it as long as he has this name. Obi-Wan Banan. Best name in-game ever. Inquisitor is playing the Gyrocopter, and yeah, let's see what we got on the Radiant side.
On the Radiant side, we have Strangby playing as the Razor carry. We're gonna have, oh my god, the music is so loud on my end. We're gonna have, wow, that's hard to pronounce. It's gonna be
Yours Loco?
Eris Loco playing as the
Yeah.
offlane Darkseer. Wow, you knew exactly what I was looking at. Down at bottom, it seems like Krilly is gonna be on the carry storm, and we're gonna have stand-in Juicy. Wow, thank you for helping out with the names. Playing as a support Bait Elemental, and finally we have Boomski playing as a support Treant.
Boomski, I also love his name. Boomski is like a combination of boom and Slavonic languages with a ski ending. It's always hilarious. Either way, the creep waves meet. We are 30 seconds into the game. We see the laning by now, and it's definitely gonna be interesting. Like I kind of fear that Ares Loco has a kind of hard time to get some CS here up. Because, I don't know, maybe we're gonna see that Gyrocopter, he hasn't skilled anything so far, but if there's a rocket spam and he misses like a rocket launch, pretty much, then the Coldfield have a chance to proc, and this might be then his demise. Here in the mid, well, this is definitely gonna be interesting, because usually you see, I would say, the Razor coming out with his static link pretty early to harass the other hero out, because if you stand still, then you lose all your damage, which translates into not getting any CS, plus of course you get a tiny bit damage, and Razor might even right click yourself. So Komi on the Mirana, well, has there a good opportunity to always leap out and instantly interrupt that link, but he's still gonna lose like 20, 30 damage, etc. So let's see how this works. We have the first rotation, by the way. OsG here with a double smoke, and they're gonna find that Razor super overextend. There's the Fisher already, but oh my god, that arrow is missing. And this way I don't even need to say anything. Chilling Touch is out. Well, that translates into some right click here, but now with the static link on Obi-Wan Banan, he can't even go for more. In the end, it just means some harass damage that, yeah, I don't know. This arrow had to hit for first blood, but if you miss it, then well, this is 100 gold smoke down the drain.
Wow, it was a pity that the arrow missed, because if it connected, that would potentially guarantee a kill for OsG, and that first blood, it's always great. It's always something great to have.
Yeah,
and I love what OsG is doing. The lane prediction from them was spot on. But I suppose either way, it would have worked out. I mean, both heroes can get away from the Razor, so not having him to use the static link. But down at bottom, I felt like it's a much more favorable matchup to put up the Puck in that position. Because the range sometimes is just too short, and the cooldown is much longer than, say, an Illusory Orb.
Yep, and actually I see a good opportunity for the Storm Spirit and the Bane combination here to get a kill on the Puck, because he got now a bottle now, Krilly, and he gets here and there some harass damage out. Of course, Judo is nice, triggering his phase shift all the time, trying to avoid as much as possible harass damage. But we see at the moment Krilly went for a 1-1-1. Actually now 1-1-2 build, but I think he's gonna go into one more point in Electric Vortex, and then they are pretty much ready. With the second point in Vortex, they have enough time up with Nightmare into Vortex or Remnant Vortex, and then the right clicks plus Brain Zap. That should be enough to get the first spot on Puck, and I'm wondering when that first rotation comes. it has to come at like 4 or 5 minutes. Maybe it comes now. Jussie is looking in, but yeah, Puck, he's smelling it already. He's like, something's wrong.
Yeah, I believe it might have something to do with the tree that was cut right here, and that might just have helped Judo gain a little vision on Juicy.
Yep.
Well, it sounds like they're relatives, but it's interesting because the standard build for Storm Spirit it's going for the 1-3-1, but he's going for a 1-1-3, so which means he's prioritizing on the right click damage a lot more than some potential lockdown.
Yep,
And in this stage,
absolutely.
I think if it does favor him quite a bit because he is matched up against the Puck, and just having that additional right click power, he should be getting a lot more last hits. And yeah, indeed, if we look at the last hits scoreboard right now, he has 23 last hits and 12 denies, whereas the Puck only has 4 last hit and 3 denies.
Yep, absolutely. The only thing that's not too optimal is actually the lane control of Storm Spirit and Bane. He actually no, he didn't stack. He did just I think a single pull there. So actually the creep wave is reaching the tower, and here in the mid we actually saw again a Fisher arrow combination. But the second time the arrow is gonna miss. Before you had a harass arrow actually under the tier 1 tower, but in the end those arrows, if those arrows don't come, I just don't see this lane going well for Mirana, because that Razor is just gonna have fun. But Bignum is still around there. We saw the static link instant leap away, so he just got like what? Nothing. It didn't even take once. Now we have a Fisher. Is there an arrow? The arrow this time? Nah, the Fisher duration is just not long enough to place that arrow. You need a better setup. That's actually what I said in the draft, that I kinda lack, or that they kinda lack this, I don't know, setup for the arrow, something long, you know, like the disruption. It got banned out, the Shadow Demon. The Bane would have been a nice combo for them, of course, but for FC they were faster. They just picked it because they couldn't ban it after the Shadow Demon, or they didn't want to ban it. Well, let's see how this goes.
Yep, Earthshaker, the setup for the arrow is, like you said, is ridiculously hard, with only 1 second duration to shoot the arrow, and there's still a casting animation as well. So it's essentially a very, you gotta get up real close to be able to land the combo. And right now we have Boomski, an Iron Shield.
Yeah, I love this. It's so huge, but yeah, he's gonna steal some CS now here, or some experience gold from the small camp, plus of course whatever has been there pulled in. But I love this combination now. But now Ares Loco, he has to search out. Bignum, by the way, rotated in, as you guys can already see. And yeah, now we actually have our official tri-lane here, but so far they also didn't see anything. It's also quite surprising that Boomski, for example, is not more aggressive, to be honest. Like, we have this Darkseer Dream combination, and it's actually pretty sick, because that Iron Shell plus the slow of the Leech Seed is very, very good. For example, on Obi-Wan Banan with just 430 HP pull, this is so deadly for him, because just 2 right clicks translate into what, about 200 damage already, 180, 190, plus the Iron Shell ticks, and maybe even some more from Ares Loco. But yeah, so far they have been not aggressive enough for that.
Wow, this is relatively surprising in my opinion. 6.5 minutes in, and we still don't have the first blood.
Yep. Where's the first blood, guys? Come on, I want to see some action. And it's pretty surprising. I mean, I said it in the draft, like, at the third pick, or I said like, oh, I think OsG they orientate here a bit into the later game, while 4FC wants to go early. And usually it's the other way around. You see CIS teams going for aggressive setup, and they fight and dive towers pretty much in the second minute already of the game, if not the first blood already has been there before the gong of the game. But well, this time both teams are just farming, and well, we have to look at it again. I mean, the Storm Spirit is keeping it up against the Puck. Puck finding a couple more CS now here. The direct comparison in mid, well, it's 34-7 on the Mirana, and the Razor just 20-1. I guess that's due to Bignum always being there with the Fissure and trying to harass, so he was busy dodging arrows all the time instead of like getting those CS up. Plus, of course, the fact, that's what I already said, he doesn't get any static link damage. That's the biggest problem, because Komi instantly leaps out, and therefore you don't have that additional damage.
Oh, just now, down at bottom, if Juicy slept Judo right when he used to Elusive Orb, I believe that would have been a kill.
Yeah.
But for Osleeki, it feels like they just need Judo to get level 6 before they can start making bigger plays, because this Fisher Arrow combination just isn't working out for them so far.
Yeah, we have to see what core items come pretty much out at some point, but so far everything is pretty standard. Komi is going here. Well, he's okay. we missed that one. Oh my god. Puck is actually dying under the tier 2 tower. I was wondering why the Storm is going so deep there, but that he actually picks up a kill on the Puck solo there, that was absolutely a surprise. I thought we have to wait for that Bane setup, but it never happened, so he just went alone for it.
Yep, and I love what Krilly is doing. He is going back to the base, so to regen up, but at the same time giving some room to Juicy to catch up on levels and perhaps get some last hits.
Yep.
Because in this current meta, you just can't have your supports completely starved out. They are an essential part of the game right now.
Absolutely, and I mean he's gonna get like what level 5 probably with that creep. Now there's a Nightmare, but unfortunately no follow up, and there is a Moonlight Shadow coming. But for what is that Moonlight Shadow exactly? That's the question. So far, I don't see anything. Is that really just? Was this a protective or defensive one, just in case there would have been a follow up on Judo? I think that's it. That Nightmare baited it out.
I felt like not only that, perhaps it was for the top as well. They have a sentry down. They wanted to catch Boomski, but I believe the communication was there. And this is such a cheesy combo.
Yeah.
Just the Nature Skies plus the Iron Shell, and all he needs to do is stand there. And it just completely zones out Inquisitor.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem. Now, I actually thought we see one good rotation here, but no, it's just Big Gnome coming back to the tri line. Here in the mid, we have, okay, Strange Boy is getting some damage at least this time. No, actually, it also, like, again, no damage from the static link. It's Komi is really fast on reaction there, is always disjoining it. And, wow, except for this, like, little bash of Krilly there getting the solo kill on the Puck. Like, this game is super passive. I'm actually surprised because I know both teams and I know how aggressive they usually are. But yeah, this time they're not planning on anything. We see Puck here, Puck with Orb, really nice actually stacking up the Ancients. This is a nice play because he's anyway on lane and he's doing the perfect thing as an offlaner. He's trying to not die, getting as much experience as you can. Oh, but Strange Bee, what are you doing? That was an in-the-face arrow followed up by a Ice Blast and a Fissure. That was so fast and death. I don't know why he was so aggressive there.
Well, I have no idea either. But finally, we see OsG. They get on the board as well. It's a much-needed kill. And with 10 minutes in, the scoreboard is 1-1.
And they might even want more. There is Obi-Wan Banan, but now there's a turnaround Leech Seed, and now we see exactly this combination. But there is Inquisitor's ultimate doing quite a lot of damage. The Fissure was off target. Now Boomski just following it up and getting the kill on the Inquisitor. And now Krilly actually rotated, and there we see the Fiend Script on Judo. And now can they actually follow up Boomski? Does he want to go in? He doesn't have any mana, but they don't even need it. Boomski is going down by the orb and actually makes it out. So in the end, Mirana also getting the Storm Spirit kill. Wow, this was a nice turnaround by OsG. Absolutely surprised there. It looked so bad for OsG, but in the end, they just didn't have enough resources left to get those kills. I mean, look at how they get away. Judo, 150 HP he got away. Inquisitor also about 150. Like, they just didn't have this damage needed to finish them off.
Yeah, I'm genuinely surprised as well. It felt like 4SC had the upper hand, but I felt like the Storm Spirit used too much mana trying to roll out of the Dream Coil. He had maybe 2 or 3 attempts before he finally got out of it.
Yeah.
And just the wasted mana stopped him from being able to chase. And Boomski, he was waiting to go in and bash the Puck.
Yeah.
But that arrow that was shot,
The
it was
arrow,
very
and it was the
unfortunate.
orb damage as well. Like, Puck actually, I think he wasn't even planning on killing Boomski there. It was really just the orb towards the tier 1 tower, just get the hell away. But like, Boomski happened to be in his way, and therefore got even got the orb damage there. Now we see Mirana here picking up a regeneration rune that might actually be bad, because I think Krilly saw it. And they know something has to be there, but that smoke is also running out. They want to dive here. Eris Loco, and now Judah is coming in. The Fissure is already stunning him. There's the orb damage. Does he come in? Yeah, Waning Rift as well. The Rocket Barrage, a lot of damage happening. But now, the Living Armor, the ultimate, this will be enough for a kill. But on top, Big Gnome already in huge trouble. The Ice Blast is only gonna hit on Krilly. The Moonlight Shadow is up now. The question is, do they have any vision? No, Dreamcoil is coming out, hitting here onto Jussie does have... Oh yeah, he has actually Fiend Script, but yeah, it's not coming out whatsoever. Now Razor is going down, as well as Krilly before, and now they might even follow up on Boomski. And I don't know, Jussie, he got a lot of damage and never got that Fiend Grip off. Now Boomski is running for his life. He has no mana whatsoever, no stick. And now, Komi coming in double Starfall. That should already be enough. And if it wasn't a double Starfall, then Judo's orb was directly on target. Easy kill for them. And now Juicy is the next one. That arrow. Oh god, that arrow is a 5-second one. He just went back into it. That orb will finish him off. Slow death. He saw it coming but couldn't move a step.
Wow, so essentially that was an entire team wipe
Yes.
for
But
FC.
look, that long sap of Krilly here. He wants to get Komi, but he has leap, so he has to use that leap right now. And yeah, he just did it. And Krilly ending up with no mana whatsoever. He's not getting hit by that ice blast. The Fisher is just, oh my god, that arrow, another super long arrow. And now it's just about right clicks. Bignum is saying, thank you, Krilly. I needed that gold for my soon dagger. 1,300 gold at the moment on the Earthshaker, and this kill definitely is helping there on the way to the 2,150 gold.
Wow, those amazing arrows out of Chomi really made up for the first two arrows he was shooting.
Yeah.
I felt like the bottom fight just now, it really hurt for FC to not have detection up against that Moonlight Shadow. They had no idea where the heroes were positioned, and in the end, that fight was so one-sided. And I mean, it was just team fight after like the very quiet early game. And 10 minutes in, when I looked at the gold and XP graph, it was essentially 0 for both. But now, if we take a look, it seems to be around 2,000 gold advantage for OsG and over 4,000 XP advantage for OsG. So
yeah, the
it definitely
experience
has swung their
curve.
way.
And it's plummeting really in the basement here. And unfortunately, Osliki is the owner of this basement, and they're happy the lower this graph goes. So at the moment, it's gold and experience. It's quite high for 15 minutes, but then again, we've seen more advantage early in game. I can just explain it this way, because the game was relatively passive till like what, the 8th, 9th minute, only that first spot happening and that equalize kill, and suddenly then this huge team fight, 4 from back and everything started. Krilly just being too, I don't know, a bit aggressive under the tier 1 tower. So now, of course, Osliki with their advantage. Also, they're stacking up here in the jungle. Komi and Bignum are getting the farm. Actually, now they leave the farm to Komi. But we see 4 people now, actually 5. Krilly also rotating in here in that lane. And now, yeah, we have Nature Skies on Jussie. That means, well, they are trying to get that Nightmare on the Puck. But Puck doesn't even care. He's already at the Ancients, ready to stack them for Gyrocopter. So a lot of effort for 4FC to find a kill, but they won't find anything, at least not on this Puck.
Just looking at the lineups, it feels like 4FC, they just don't have enough burst. I mean, if you look at the items, Doxia has a mech, and there's nothing of those sort on Osliki. But when they take team fights, Osliki still just seems to be overpowering 4FC completely. So I believe 4FC right now, they should avoid the big clashes and find those pick-offs with the Storm. But the problem is Storm is nowhere near his Orchid, and we're already 16 minutes into the game.
And talking about items and being close to them, one little surprise for me, actually, Bignum decided at like 1,600, 1,700 gold to not go for the Blink Dagger. He finished the Arcane Boots first. In my opinion, a very questionable decision. I mean, it's nice for the team, of course, having that additional mana and everything, but Earthshaker that might get a nice Blink Dagger up at like, what, the 16th minute, 17th minute, I would have preferred that, because, I mean, against this at the moment when you're already leading a nice Aqua Slam whatsoever. But now we have actually a go here on the Mirana, but instant super fast superhero like reactions on Komi there, leaping away and disjointing pretty much Bane's attempt to get anything off. His arms were already lifted, so yeah, a second later that would have been something. But now Komi is coming back, Leap is on cooldown. Eris Loco saw him, but I think they saw each other, and therefore I don't know if this is gonna be something. Boomski would be level 6, so we have an Overgrowth holding them in place, but then again they wait so long. Leap is ready again, so even with the Overgrowth, Mirana would make it out there easily. By the way, before you say anything, Judo actually got his Blink Dagger now, so he was the one who also had the money up for the Blink Dagger, and he decided for it, and which is, it's too essential on Puck to go for anything else before the Blink Dagger. On Earthshaker, well, I kinda support the Arcane Boots if they need that mana desperately.
Yeah, and speaking of fast reactions and Blink Daggers, oh my goodness, these arrows. Well,
Yeah.
Sleeky, they know the arrow hit something, but they just can't see it. They pinged it out. But down at bottom, Judo, his fresh blink dagger, tried to blink on Krilly, and went for his combo. But Krilly was so freaking fast. He actually saw it coming and managed to roll out of trouble.
Yep, it's to be honest, like, we have a German saying it. Oh my god! Before I go on for this, oh, there's another arrow in Krilly. He's really arrow catcher number one, and now this is enough for a kill, even with the living armor on top of them. It's oh my god! Like we have a German saying, and it actually fits exactly to that kill. Like Komi, the early arrows he made, they were horrible. I mean, we have to just admit it, right? They were horrible. They missed 3 times in a row or 2 times in a row after a fissure. And now suddenly his arrow's just on target and he might even hit another one, just no follow-up damage. Boomski actually is scouting him out, but there is some blinks coming. Oh, actually no, these blinks are coming from the Mirana himself there. So, I don't know. This might actually end up being a nice kill on Jussie if the arrow is coming. He has the uphill vision. There is the arrow. Double Starstorm is coming in. He doesn't even need the double Starstorm. This double damage rune, one right click, one Starstorm take is just enough for a Jussie kill. And I don't know. Now they go here in the mid again on Strange Boy, but unfortunately no arrow available there. Puck, I don't know. He had to use his Blink Dagger to come on this side of the high ground, and so he didn't have, like, for example, the Dream Coil on Strange Boy. But it doesn't matter. They go just one kill by one kill into more and more advantage.
Wow, I mean, Chomi, he really made it up, made up for his early game, man. He's been doing so much work for his team. He's participated in 10 kills so far, and I mean his team only has 11, so really doing great work there.
Yep, absolutely. It's back to the German saying. It literally translates into like, you know, when you shoot the gun, for example, or anything similar, and you never hit, then there's a saying like you have to drink aim water. That's how it literally translates into English. And for some reason, Komi, after the first 3 heroes, he had a sip of that aim water bottle. But now, let's see. We have a Dream Coil here on Strange By. The arrow is actually not coming yet, or it came but never hit, so he's going down either way with a double Starstorm, and they might even want more. Boomski would be here, and now he gets the fissure. There is, of course, yeah, the Overgrowth. The question is there any follow-up? He doesn't use his orb to get closer there because he knows there's already rotations coming. And actually, talking about rotations, there is Krilly, and Krilly is getting another super long arrow in his face. Bignum is there with the Echo Slam and the fissure. That's enough for Krilly, and now, oh my goodness, Darkseer is going down just by a casual orb damage, and with this wall, they can't change anything. The fact is, Boomski was already on the way back. Jussie is the one who might actually get something. Oh, that arrow. This time it didn't hit, but might still be enough. Jussie is getting slowed here by the Ice Orb. Komi is following him, and Bignum has no mana, but yeah, this defensive nightmare won't help him. Bignum might as well die here, actually. Komi has no leap, so they have to take care. One more hit by Strange Boy. The problem is he has PTs versus face boots. No chance to catch up there, but Bignum, what is Bignum doing here? He's pretty much locked in the trees, but Boomski didn't see him whatsoever, so he's actually getting out. Now he's following up on Obi-Wan Banan. Maybe they circle around here. Yeah, that might be it. Strange Boy is coming in. There's the static link, and against the Ancient Apparition, yeah, he does his last will, pretty much. Ice Blast in the face, and then ready to die.
Oh man, it feels like right now for FC, the Razor isn't really capable of doing anything. Every time he tries to static link someone, he just gets kited around.
Yeah.
He can't really go for Chomi, and oh, okay, yes he can.
That was absolutely unexpected. Komi was so far away, but at the tier 2 tower he was deciding, okay, I stand still, farm some creeps here. But level 4 plasma field, that was just too much damage to be cocky.
Uh, it's kind of like when me and Coucho were casting. Every time I say something, the opposite happens, and the curse continues.
It's the doom of the co-caster. Trust me, I know, because usually I'm a co-caster as well, cameraman co-caster. But oh god, we have a go here on the bottom lane. Boomski, he's so gonna die. He doesn't even use anything. No overgrowth, no living armor. I actually don't understand why he didn't use the living armor there. But now actually the puck might pay for it. No, he blinks out under the tier 1 tower, and there's already Obi-Wan Banan waiting to give him the support he needs. So those 3 heroes of 4FC, they won't find anything. Krill instantly TPs back to base. He needs the mana, he needs a full bottle, and he's still so far away from anything. He has the PTs, he has one Oblivion stuff. Well, the Null Talisman is now back in the stash because he used that just for the last hit potential, of course, in the early game. But oh my god, he's so far away from that Orchid.
Wow, yeah, and not speaking of farm, Inquisitor, he just took a huge stack. So he has already another 1800 gold on him. And once he has that Manta style, this Treant isn't going to be able to do anything to stop Inquisitor from doing his right click damages. It all
Yep.
comes down to that Bane elemental, I have to say. If he can get a great Fiend's Grip. But it's just not likely to happen because he isn't ever going to be able to get that BKB anytime soon. So there's always so many skills that can stop him. There's Fissure, there's Silence from Puck, there's Arrow from Mirana, and I'm not too sure if he still wants to stand there if he ever gets hit by the Ice Blast.
Yep, absolutely. It's also a nice combination. I mean, they have Dreamcore, they have the slow body AA, they have the Earthshaker holding at least 2 or 3 people in place with Fisher, maybe even with the Echo Slam or TP. And oh my god, what an arrow on Ares Loco here. Double Starstorm is coming, and that's easily enough. Now, instantly, there comes a Moonlight Shadow. I guess this is just a defensive one because he knows there has been a rotation of 4FC. Now there's a Sentry Ward and Comey. Oh my god, you poor bastard. There you're going down. Easy in the Vortex already. Yeah, well, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Comey, I mean, he lost his Wicked 6 streak already versus the Razor, so it's not too much damage done. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but OsG, they want more, but Boomski coming out with the Overgrowth, and Strangebite has now the opportunity to actually steal some damage. This is 56 damage stolen, but Park is coming in, double Dreamcoil, Strangebite popping his BKB, but Inquisitor coming up as well. Oh my god, Big Gnome, this Echo Slam was really, really bad. Ancient Aberration is getting the kill on the Bane, and now Inquisitor actually has to run, but there is Obi-Wan Banan also with the Haste Rune. That means now Boomski will definitely die, and maybe they even get a follow-up for more. Let's see what's happening, but he doesn't have too much mana. Maybe, no, Arcane Boots are also not ready. Big Gnome, does he find him now with the Plasma Field? He's actually giving away his position, but he does that pretty much on purpose because he knows Ares Loco is somewhere around the area, ready to help them, and they might actually be able to get something here, but both teams decide, nah, this is all too risky, we just go back.
Yeah, and there's no reason why they should continue to fight because, I mean, it could easily have gone either way. And now that the Oslicky heroes don't have any mana, I wonder if Ares Loco will want to make a play. But nope, it seems like everyone's just backing out.
Yeah, I was actually surprised because then once Ares Loco arrived there and they saw already the other heroes retreating and just the 2 supports being there, pretty much AA out of mana, and Big Gnome had like mana for 1 more Fissure, they could have gone for at least a surge up into the Static Link, trying to get something up, etc. But oh my god, Krilly here, 50% mana, Comey is waiting on the side, all he needs is just a easy, but he doesn't even need, what am I talking about? I'm talking about arrows, but they do it much easier way. There's the Waning Rift with the Blink Dagger, of course, and Comey just right clicking with already a Desolator. Krilly just melting away like, I don't know, like ice cream in the sun.
It feels like this Orchid for Storm, it feels like a dream. Every time he gets close, he just ends up dying.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's taking forever. 26-minute in, and the Storm Spirit is still incapable of getting his Orchid. And if we compare the same role, oh dear god, Inquisitor, 26-minute, almost 200 last hits, has
Yeah.
Manta style Helm dominated BKV.
Oh, now here in the mid, oh my god, Jussie is so dead. I don't even need to say anything. That was, I think that was about 500, 600 damage, even overkill. There was an Ice Blast on him. There was Big Gnome right click. He didn't even need to use the Enchant Totem. There was an arrow on him as well. Starstorm would have followed up. I think that was like double or triple his HP pool. What's coming out there as damage, and like Oslicky, they say like, guys, okay, we got a kill. We just go into Roshan. They have no armor reduction from a medallion whatsoever. But of course they have the Desolator already. That means this Roshan is standing there pretty much with just 1 armor, and this should be an easy kill for Inquisitor. The Aegis will probably go on him. He's gonna drop TP or stick for it, and he also has the lifesteal, which means, yeah, he's keeping himself up. He actually sold the wand now. Yep, the wand is going to the secret shop, and he's trading it for an Aegis. And now it really gets scary, of course. Not because it's 721 and they're leading. The fact is they're supported by an Aegis. Oh my god, and that arrow. This is another 5-second arrow. The Ice Blast is gonna follow up. Oh my god, he's just so dead. Now Boomski, if they have vision, they can even go for Boomski for more. But what I kinda miss is the rocket is not there. But Krilly is coming in. Waning Rift is silencing Ares Loco and Krilly. Oh, the Echo Slam actually is just for 1 target, but it's enough. Krilly is going down. Now Ares Loco is running for his life, but Surge already ended. But a nice vacuum, getting both of the heroes low crown. But Big Gnome is then just giving the, say, the fissure and finishing it off. And also, Bane, he's that Bane, I said it already in the draft, he's just not happy in this game. He's just not getting anything.
Wow. I mean, Osleeki, they really justified this first pick Murano, I have to say. Those arrows.
Oh, look at this. There's a sentry popped. Now Bignum is pretending. No, actually, oh, this is a radiant sentry. I'm sorry, but now actually they saw Boomski. If they have more vision, he might actually go down. I actually thought for a split second here this sentry ward was, say it was a dire one, and he's pretending to not see Boomski, so he's luring him in, and the others are coming. But yeah, in the end, it turned out that this was a radiant ward.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
and there it comes. This is anticlimactic, just as like the games I casted yesterday for Fnatic versus Mouse. Like, they lose fights, they have a big disadvantage and everything, and then suddenly after like 3 minutes more gaming and a bit farming, there comes a random GG out. This is exactly how it goes. Either way, guys, this is game 1 of a 2-game series, so don't go away. Just grab a beer or whatever you else do in breaks. Game 2 will be up with me and Mito, of course. Just 5 minutes.
I heard you. You almost called me Meepo.
Yeah, Meepo. I was like, oh, Meepo.
That's like one of the heroes I cannot play in Dota 2.
Okay, I'm swapping into the waiting screen with music, some ads, guys, and there we go.